today we are going to learn about the comparative statement. That is the third type of tool of analysis. First, we have learned about common size statement. Second, we have learned about the trend statement, and third, we are going to learn about the comparative statement. Straightly, we are going to see the problems on this topic. So this from the following financial statement of Vaibhav Limited, prepare a comparative financial statement. So first of all, you must understand that comparative statement is a comparison of 2 years. Here you can say, see, year ending 2013 and year ending 2014. 2 years we can see here. So equity share capital for the year is 4 lakh and it has remained the same in 2014. Preference share capital remained the same. General reserves have been changed. Tax payable changed. Creditors have been changed. Debentures have been increased. We can see land has been increased. Factory has been decreased. So the difference may be of depreciation. Stocks have been increased. Then debtors increased by 1 lakh. We can see cash has been increased by 40,000 and profit loss account is given here also for both the years. So COGS is given 6 lakh in 2013 and 7 lakh 50,000 in 2014. So it is also increased. Then administrative expenses we can see increases there. Selling expenses have remained the same and net profit has been increased. Sales has been increased here by 2 lakh. Okay. So now this comparison, what I said, there is some increase or decrease or it has remained same. Now we are going to show this increase or decrease in terms of percents. So these are the classifications where we are going to post these items. Land will go to fixed asset, factory plant building will go to fixed assets, stock, debtors and cash are part of current assets. Then equity share capital is part of shareholders fund, preference share capital is part of shareholders fund, general reserves again shareholders fund into reserves and surplus, tax payable is current liability, creditors are current liability and debentures are long term borrowings. Sales will be noted as net sales. COGS will be noted as COGS. We will deduct the COGS from the sales. Administrative expenses and selling expenses, these are operating expenses. Those will be recorded. Those will be deducted from the gross profit and then we will get the net profit. So let us see the steps how to prepare a comparative statement. First of all, prepare an income statement in vertical format. Now, in this question, you are going to prepare both the things. We are going to prepare the income statement and the balance sheet also. So, first of all, we are going to prepare the income statement in vertical format for both the years. And it will be in columnar format. So, 2013 column will be here and again 2014 column will be near to that. Then we will find out the increase or decrease absolute figures in the next column. Third column will be there for showing the increase or decrease in these figures. Then we will calculate the percentage of the difference in the last column. Next step will be we will prepare the balance sheet in vertical format for both the years and we will repeat the second and third steps again. So we will find out the increase or decrease absolute figures in the next column and in the further column we will calculate the percentage difference in the last column. See, in this way we are going to prepare it. So first of all, this is the format of the comparative statements. So here, wait. So here, first column is 2013 for the year 2013. Second column is for the year 2014. Then we can see here increase or decrease in absolute numbers or absolute figures, and here increase or decrease in percentage. So these four columns for rupees will be there, and here in particulars we will record the details of the each and every item given into our question. So first of all, we will record the net sales. So now net sales is 8 lakh in 2013 and 10 lakh in 2014. So here is the increase of rupees 2 lakh. When the increase is there, we don't need to denote by any sign. But if there is decrease, then we will denote it by parenthesis or the म्हणजे आपण मराठीमध्ये त्याला कंस म्हणतो तर कंसामध्ये आपल्याला ते दाखवायचं आहे. सो निगेटिव्ह अमाउंट विल बी शोन इन बाय पॅरेंथेसिस. So here increase has been calculated by 20%. Now how to calculate that? So for 8 lakh it has become 10 lakh. Then for 2 lakh, for 8 lakh in 8 lakh it has been increased by 2 lakh. So for 8 lakh it is 2 lakh. Then for 100, what is the percentage increase that should be calculated? Then COGS is there. COGS 6 lakh, 7 lakh 50,000, and the difference is absolute figures 1 lakh 50,000, and again the difference percentage is 25%. From net sales, we have deducted the cost of goods sold, and the gross profit is 2 lakh here. For the second year, it is 2 lakh 50,000, and the difference between these two is 15,000. So again, we calculated the percentage, so it has been 25%. Then from gross profit, we will deduct the operating expenses. Two types of operating expenses are given here. First are administrative expenses, then selling expenses. So administrative expenses, we can see increase is there of 10,000, and the percentage increase is 33.33%. Selling expenses has remained the same, 20,000, 20,000 in both the years. So there is no increase, no decrease. So no percentage increase, decrease. Now we will make a total of the administrative expenses, and it has been 50,000. For the second year, it has been 60,000. Again, the difference we will calculate. The difference is 10,000, and the percentage will be calculated 20%. Now we will calculate the net profit. How the net profit is calculated? Point number 3 minus point number 4. That means gross profit minus operating expenses we have done, and we got it here. For 2013, 2 lakh minus 50,000, which makes 1 lakh 50,000. This is the net profit for the first year, and the net profit for the second year, 2 lakh 50,000 minus 60,000 is equal to 1 lakh 90,000. Again, we will find out the difference of these two figures. We can see here the figure has been increased by 40,000, and the percentage increase will be 26.67%. See the how percentage has been calculated. You can see here I have calculated the percentage for net sale. 2 lakh is the increase of the net sale, and 8 lakh is the base figure for the year 2013, and we multiplied it by 100, and we got it 25%. You can calculate that on your calculator if you have kept it near to you. So these are total operating expenses. Some details I have added here. See the calculation of COGS percentage we can see here. 1 lakh 50,000 is the increase, and 6 lakh is the base figure. So percentage increase will be 25%. Then gross profit. Gross profit percentage how has been calculated? 50,000 divided by 2 lakh is the base figure into 100 is equal to 25%. Administrative expenses. 10,000 is the increase divided by base figure 30,000 into 100 makes 33.33%. Let us see the balance sheet now. Let me show you the calculations. Okay. So again for the balance sheet also, the same format we will follow, just heading will be changed. Heading we can say comparative financial position statement, or as usual comparative balance sheet as on. Now as on we will not write here one single year, 2 years will be written here. As on 31st December 2013 and 14 we have to write there. First heading, sources of funds. Sources of funds means what? Whatever capital you have employed, whatever loan funds you have employed, all those will be written here. Now current liabilities will not be written here. Current liabilities will be deducted from the current assets. So for management accounting purpose, we calculate working capital, and the working capital is shown as asset. That's why current liabilities, you don't see here any current liabilities. You are seeing only two items here. First is shareholder funds and the second is long term liabilities. Net fund employed is the total of these two parts, right? So first of all, into shareholders fund, we write the equity share capital. Now equity share capital here is 4 lakh and 4 lakh. So there is no change. So if there is no change, the amount is nil. So we cannot calculate any percentage. Then preference share capital is given there, 9% preference share capital. Again the same thing happens, there is no change, so no calculation. So this is total share capital. How much total share capital is there? 7 lakh, 7 lakh. Again there is no change. 7 lakh has remained 7 lakh. Now we will add the reserves and surplus to the share capital. So reserves and surplus, into reserves and surplus, we got general reserve there into our given question. So general reserve is 2 lakh and 2 lakh 45,000. So here the increase is of 45,000. We can see here, and let us calculate the percentage in this way. 45,000 divided by 2 lakh into 100 is equal to 22.50%. So increase figure is 45,000, base year figure is 2 lakh and into 100. So your percentage will be 22.50%, right? Now this general reserve will be added, or reserves and surplus amount will be added to the share capital, and we will get the total shareholders fund. Here total shareholders fund has been 9 lakh. This 7 lakh and this 2 lakh made it 9 lakh. In the second year, 7 lakh plus 2 lakh 45,000 makes the 9 lakh 45,000. Now the difference between the total shareholders fund is 45,000. It is increased. Let us calculate the percentage of this increase. 45,000 is the increase figure, 9 lakh is the base figure into 100, which makes 5% increase in total shareholders fund as compared to 2013. Then second item, we are going to record long term liabilities, or we can see borrowed funds or long term funds. Into long term funds, there are debentures are given to you. So debentures have been there 1 lakh and 1 lakh 50,000. So again we can see there is an increase of rupees 50,000 in debentures. So let us calculate the percentage. 50,000 is the figure of increase in debentures. 1 lakh is the figure of base year into 100, which makes increase of 50%. Here we can see 50%. Okay. Now next part is that we will add the shareholders fund and long term liabilities together. In 2013, your shareholders fund was 9 lakh. Here it is 9 lakh, and the long term liabilities are rupees 1 lakh, which makes the net fund employed, or we can call it capital employed. So total capital employed in 2013 is rupees 10 lakh. In 2014, your shareholders funds are 9 lakh 45,000 and long term liabilities are 1 lakh, which makes the capital employed 10 lakh 95,000. So the difference is 95,000. Your capital employed has been increased, right? So we will calculate the percentage again here. Here the percentage is calculated. 95,000 divided by 10 lakh is the your base year figure into 100 is equal to 9.50%. So in this way, we will calculate the liabilities side of the balance sheet. Now we are going to see the asset side of balance sheet, which is called as application of funds. Why it is called as application of funds? Because you have got these sources of funds, you are going to employ these funds, you are going to apply these funds, you are going to use these funds. Now how these funds are used, you can see in the asset side. So fixed assets are given here. Into fixed asset, land is recorded. Land is 2 lakh 40,000, and the increase is 40,000, and the percentage is calculated here. 40,000 is the increase figure, 2 lakh is the base year figure into 100 makes 20% increase in land. Let us see the next part. Here, next fixed asset is plant and machinery. Plant and machinery is rupees 6 lakhs in first year. In second year, it is 5 lakh 40,000. That means there is decrease in plant and machinery of rupees 60,000, and it has been denoted by the parenthesis. Right? Now we will calculate the decrease. How we will calculate the decrease? The difference figure is 60,000. 60,000 divided by this base year figure 6 lakhs into 100. So calculate 60,000 divided by 6 lakhs into 100. Right? So you will get the percentage decrease of 10%. You don't need to put a minus sign into your calculation. You can just calculate percentage. मायनस किंवा प्लस साइन कुठलंही न टाकता पर्सेंटेज कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं आणि नंतर इथं ॲब्सोल्यूट इन्क्रीज किंवा डिक्रीज असेल त्याप्रमाणे साइन टाकायचं. इन्क्रीज असेल तर आपल्याला कुठलाही साइन वापरायचं नाही, डिक्रीज असेल तर आपल्याला कंस तरी टाकायचंय किंवा मायनस साइन तरी टाकावं लागेल. ओके. नाव टोटल असेट्स. टोटल फिक्स असेट्स. टोटल फिक्स असेट्स किती आहेत? 8 लाख. मगाशी लँड होती 2 लाख आणि 6 लाखाचे प्लांट अँड मशिनरी मेक्स द टोटल फिक्स असेट्स 8 लाख. In 2013, the figure has become 7,80,000. So there is again decrease of rupees 20,000. Calculate the percentage. 20,000 divided by 8 lakh into 100, which makes a percentage decrease of 2.50 in total fixed assets. Now next part, this is something different. आजपर्यंत आपण जी काय बॅलन्स शीट तयार करत होतो त्याच्यामध्ये आपण करंट लायबिलिटीज या लायबिलिटीज साईडला लिहित होतो लॉंग टर्म लायबिलिटीजच्या खाली. आता मॅनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग मध्ये ज्यावेळेला आपण व्हर्टिकल अनालिसिस करतोय, व्हर्टिकल अनालिसिस करताना आपल्याला अनालिसिससाठी, डिसिजन मेकिंगसाठी, इंटरप्रिटेशनसाठी सुटेबल असा डेटा आपण अरेंज करून घेतो. सो मॅनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग मध्ये बॅलन्स शीट लिहित असताना तुम्हाला काय करायचंय? करंट असेट्स आधी लिहायचे आहेत, करंट असेट्स मधून करंट लायबिलिटीज वजा करायचे आहेत आणि मग वर्किंग कॅपिटल जे आहे ते आपल्याला कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं आहे. ओके. सो पहिल्यांदा आपण लिहूया. इथे वर्किंग कॅपिटल हेडिंग लिहिलेलं आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये ए भाग आहे करंट असेट्स अँड फर्स्ट वी विल रेकॉर्ड द डेटर्स. डेटर्स आर नॉट देअर. लेट मी चेक देम whether debtors are there or not. Let us see into the question. The question is here. So debtors and cash both are there and stock is there. Debtors are 2 lakh, cash is 1 lakh. We were here, I think. Next. So the figures have been misplaced here. Debtors are here 2 lakh. Here you can see the debtors 2 lakh rupees. Something happened to my pen. It's not working. So debtors are here. Laser pointer is also not working. Yes, I can take it. So debtors are here and cash is here, which makes total quick assets. So these are quick assets, or we can call them liquid assets. That means that is the liquidity of your business and pay your short-term obligations from this cash. The debtors will be converted into cash very soon. Cash is also a part of cash, so there is no need of conversion. It is already liquid cash. So total quick assets are rupees 3 lakh, right? Then in the 2014, 3 lakh is the cash, 3 lakh are the debtors and cash is 1 lakh 40,000. So total quick assets are 4,40,000. अगेन हे क्विक असेट्स कॅल्क्युलेट करणं हे सुद्धा डिसिजन मेकिंग साठी गरजेचा असणारा डेटा आहे, गरजेची असणारी माहिती आहे. सो क्विक असेट्स किंवा लिक्विड असेट्स जे आहेत ते आपण कॅल्क्युलेट करतो. स्टॉक खाली दिलेला आहे, स्टॉक सुद्धा करंट असेटच आहे, परंतु स्टॉक हा काय आहे, नॉन क्विक असेट आहे. स्टॉकचं रूपांतर कॅशमध्ये व्हायला, त्याची लिक्विडिटी व्हायला खूप वेळ लागतो, त्यामुळे त्याला लिक्विड असेट असं म्हटलं जात नाही. रॉ मटेरियलचा स्टॉक आहे, तो कन्वर्ट होणार वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस मध्ये, देन इट विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू फिनिश्ड गुड्स, देन इट विल बी पॅक्ड, देन इट विल बी सोल्ड, आणि मग त्याचं रूपांतर डेटर्स मध्ये होणार आणि मग त्याचं रूपांतर कॅश मध्ये होणार. सो इट इज अ लॉंग प्रोसेस. सो स्टॉक इज नॉट ट्रीटेड ॲज अ लिक्विड असेट. हे वाक्य लक्षात ठेवा सगळ्यांनी. सो इथे 2 लाखाचा आपल्याला स्टॉक दिसतोय आणि 3 लाख रुपयाचा इथे दुसऱ्या वर्षातला स्टॉक दिसतोय. सो इन्क्रीज इज देअर ऑफ ₹1 lakh. आता पुन्हा इथे पर्सेंटेज आपल्याला कॅल्क्युलेट करायचे आहे. 1 lakh डिवायडेड बाय 2 lakh इंटू 100 विच मेक्स 50% इन्क्रीज. स्टॉक मध्ये इन्क्रीज किती झाली आहे, 50%ची. आणि वरती क्विक असेटची, कॅशची वगैरे सुद्धा इन्क्रीज इकडे काढलेली आहे. डेटर्स मध्ये इन्क्रीज आहे 50%, कॅश मध्ये इन्क्रीज आहे 40%, आणि टोटल क्विक असेट्स मधली इन्क्रीज किती आहे, 46.67%. ओके. आता टोटल करंट असेट्स जे आहेत ते आपल्याला इथे कॅल्क्युलेट करायचे. टोटल करंट असेट्स बघा किती आहेत. टोटल करंट असेट्स मध्ये झाली आहे बेरीज इथे 3 लाख अधिक 2 लाख बरोबर 5 लाख. दुसऱ्या वर्षामध्ये 4,40,000 अधिक 3 लाख बरोबर 7,40,000. सो इथे इन्क्रीज किती आहे, ऑब्सोल्यूट इन्क्रीज 2,40,000. 5 लाख होती इथे टोटल, इथे 7,40,000 झाले, म्हणजे 2,40,000 नी तुमचे करंट असेट्स वाढले. सो आता त्याचंही पर्सेंटेज कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं. इथे कॅल्क्युलेट केलंय बघा ते 2,40,000 भागिले 5 लाख गुणिले 100 बरोबर 48%. Here we have written the 48%, right? So this is the change in total current assets. Now let us record the current liabilities. Current liabilities मध्ये पहिला दिला टॅक्स पेएबल, that is 1 lakh rupees. इथे आहे अमाउंट सेकंड इयर मध्ये 1,50,000. सो द इन्क्रीज इज 50,000. पुन्हा त्याचं पर्सेंटेज कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं. पर्सेंटेज कॅल्क्युलेट करत असताना 50,000 डिवायडेड बाय 1 lakh इंटू 100 मेक्स द पर्सेंटेज इन्क्रीज ऑफ 50,000. ओके. देन क्रेडिटर्स. क्रेडिटर्स आर देअर ऑफ ₹2 lakh. क्रेडिटर्स मधला चेंज रेकॉर्ड करा. क्रेडिटर्स मध्ये 75,000चा चेंज आहे, 37.50 त्याचं पर्सेंटेज आपल्याला काढता येईल. 75,000 भागिले 2 लाख गुणिले 100 बरोबर 37.75 येईल. करून बघा तुम्ही, बाजूला कॅल्क्युलेटर ठेवत चला. ज्या वेळेला प्रॉब्लेम्स आपण सोडवत असू त्यावेळेला इमिजिएटली तुम्ही सुद्धा हे करून बघू शकता. आता टॅक्स पेएबल आणि क्रेडिटर्स या दोन्ही गोष्टी ज्या आहेत, या दोन्ही सुद्धा क्विक लायबिलिटीज आहेत. त्या तुम्हाला पुढच्या 1 वर्षाच्या आत पेमेंट करायचे. त्या लॉंग टर्म लायबिलिटीज नाहीत, त्या करंट लायबिलिटीज आहेत, आणि त्यात सुद्धा त्या क्विक लायबिलिटीज आहेत ज्या लगेच पे करायच्या आहेत. सो त्या क्विक लायबिलिटीजची बेरीज केली इथे 3 लाख रुपये बेरीज आपल्याला दिसते. इथे आपल्याला 3 लाखाची बेरीज दिसते आणि इकडे 4,25,000. सो डिफरन्स विल बी 1,25,000 and the percentage increase will be 41.67%. So quick liabilities has been increased by 41.67%. Now we will calculate the working capital. How the working capital is calculated? Current assets minus current liabilities. So A is current assets and B is current liabilities. A minus B is equal to working capital. In the case of year 2013, your working capital is calculated here. 5 lakh are your total current assets. We can call it TCA and TCL. Total current liabilities are ₹3 lakh. So the difference is 2 lakh rupees. This is your working capital. Now for the year 2014, ₹7,40,000 are your total current assets minus total current liabilities 4,25,000 is equal to 3,15,000 working capital. Here we can see this working capital. सो आपण ऑब्सोल्यूट फिगर आधी फाइंड आउट केल्या. आता आपण काय करायचं आहे, आपल्याला डिफरन्स काढायचा आहे. डिफरन्स किती येईल बघा, 2,00,000 रुपये पहिल्या वर्षाचं वर्किंग कॅपिटल आहे, दुसऱ्या वर्षाचं वर्किंग कॅपिटल आहे 3,15,000 रुपये. सो डिफरन्स इज 1,15,000. That means there is increase by 1,15,000. Now calculate the percentage increase. 1,15,000 divided by base year figure 2 lakh into 100 is equal to 57.50%. And last part, now what we will do, we will take the total of fixed assets and the working capital, this working capital, and we will make the total, we will make the sum of these two figures, and we will get the net capital employed or net funds employed, or we can call it capital employed. So 8 lakh plus 2 lakh makes 10 lakh. 8 lakh is the total of fixed assets. Working capital is 2 lakh for the year 2013, which makes total figure of capital employed 10 lakh rupees. In the year 2014, your fixed assets are 7,80,000. Here you can see it, 7,80,000, and working capital is 3,15,000, and total will be 10,95,000. So the difference is 95,000. Your capital employed is increased by 9,000, and the percentage increase is calculated 9.50%. How we calculated? Again, the increase is 95,000 divided by the base year figure 10 lakh into 100 makes 9.50%. So this is the analysis. We have calculated the figures. आता हे केवळ ॲनालिसिस करून उपयोग नाही, यामध्ये इन्क्रीज किंवा डिक्रीज का झालं असेल याचा सुद्धा आपल्याला विचार करावा लागतो. याचा विचार करत असताना कुठे कुठे इन्क्रीज झालाय, कुठे कुठे डिक्रीज झालेला आहे ते देखील आपल्याला बघायला लागतं. उदाहरणार्थ बघा, इथे सोर्सेस ऑफ फंड्स मध्ये इन्क्रीज कुठे झालाय, रिझर्व्ह अँड सरप्लस मध्ये झालाय. कितीचा इन्क्रीज झालाय? 45,000चा इन्क्रीज झालाय. मग त्याचा प्रॉफिट लॉस अकाउंटशी काही संबंध आहे का? तर आहे. त्याच्यामधले 40,000 जे दिसत आहेत ते नेट प्रॉफिट आपल्याला दिसतोय, बरोबर. सो हा नेट प्रॉफिट निश्चितपणे रिझर्व्ह अँड सरप्लस मध्ये गेलाय, आणि 5,000 अगोदरचे रिझर्व्ह अँड सरप्लस मध्ये असू शकतो प्रॉफिट, आणि त्यामुळे ह्या नेट प्रॉफिट मधून जनरल रिझर्व्हला ट्रान्सफर केलेली असणार आहे. या पद्धतीने त्याच्यावरचे निष्कर्ष आपल्याला काढता येऊ शकतात. इथं पण बघा, सेल्स इन्क्रीज झालाय 25%, पण सीओजीएस सुद्धा इन्क्रीज झाला 25%. समजा सीओजीएस वरती अजून थोडा कंट्रोल असता तर तुमचा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट अजून 25% सुद्धा जास्त वाढू शकला असता. ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह एक्सपेन्सेस मध्ये तुमची वाढ झाली, जरी प्रोडक्शन वाढलं तरी सुद्धा ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह एक्सपेन्सेस मध्ये पुन्हा वाढ झाली, त्यामुळे तुमची कॉस्ट पुन्हा वाढली. सेल्स वाढला तरी कॉस्ट परत एकदा वाढली, आणि सेलिंग एक्सपेन्सेस मात्र तुम्ही कंट्रोल मध्ये ठेवलेले आहेत. सेलिंग एक्सपेन्सेस मध्ये सेल वाढवला म्हणून सेलिंग एक्सपेन्सेस वाढलेले नाही, ते 20,000 रुपयेच राहिलेले. सो दॅट्स अ गुड थिंग फॉर दिस कंपनी. इकडे पण जे असेट्स आणि लायबिलिटीज कमी किंवा जास्त झालेले आहेत त्याच्यावरती आपण याच पद्धतीनं कॉमेंट्स जे आहेत ते आपण करू शकतो. डेटर्स वाढले, तुमचे का वाढले डेटर्स 50%? तर तुमचा सेल वाढला. सेल वाढला की ऑफकोर्स डेटर्स वाढणार आहेत. कॅश वाढली कारण तुम्हाला सेल्स मधून पैसे जमा झालेले आहेत. सो क्विक असेट्स त्यामुळे वाढल्या. आता तुमच्या क्विक असेट्स ज्या आहेत त्या 46.67% वाढलेल्या आहेत, आणि क्विक लायबिलिटीज पण तुमच्याकडे 41.67% वाढलेल्या आहेत. परंतु तुमच्याकडे असणाऱ्या क्विक असेट्स या क्विक लायबिलिटीजना सॅटिस्फाय करू शकतात इतके पैसे तुमच्याकडे आहेत. लिक्विड कॅश तुमच्याकडे तेवढ्या प्रमाणामध्ये उपलब्ध आहे, रूपांतर काही काळातच कॅश मध्ये होणार आहे. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज इंटरप्रिटेशन. खाली कॉमेंट लिहिली आहे बघा, द डिफरन्स इन जनरल रिझर्व्ह इज ₹45,000. दॅट मीन्स आउट ऑफ नेट प्रॉफिट ऑफ ₹1,90,000, ₹45,000 इज ट्रान्सफर्ड टू general reserve in 2013. So the balance profit loss account ₹1,90,000 minus 45,000 makes 1,45,000. So जो तुमचा नेट प्रॉफिट आहे त्या नेट प्रॉफिट मधून इथे नेट प्रॉफिट तुम्हाला दिसतंय बघा. 2013चा नेट प्रॉफिट किती आहे? 1,50,000 आणि 2014 मध्ये फिगर किती झाली आहे? 1,90,000 झालेली आहे. या 1,90,000 मधून तुम्ही ट्रान्सफर केलेले आहेत कुठे? जनरल रिझर्व्हला ट्रान्सफर अमाऊंट केलेली आहे. सो जनरल रिझर्व्हची अमाऊंट तिकडे वाढलेली आहे. सो या पद्धतीने हे ते इंटरप्रिटेशन आपण करतो. लेट अस स्टॉप हिअर.